Hello, my beautiful friends. It is Imbolc Eve. Time to celebrate Imbolc. You're thinking, oh, PRG, what is Imbolc? Well, Imbolc is one of the 4 fire festivals, Celtic Fire Festivals. It is also now part of the eightfold wheel, but it didn't used to be. So that combination of the 4 Celtic Fire Festivals and then the additional 4 that are in the eightfold wheel came as sort of a partnership over time between pagans and the Celts and whatnot. So some people celebrate just the 4, some people celebrate all 8. They have all different kinds of names. So in the church, it's Saint Brigid's Day, or Candlemas. It's also the revering of the Goddess Brigid in the Celtic tradition and some pagan traditions. And, ready? Groundhog Day is coming. Groundhog Day usually falls right around Imbolc, because Imbolc is all about the very first signs of spring. So you know how the groundhog pops up and he checks out his shadow and all that? Well, that is kind of what Imbolc is about. It's the little shoots that come out poking through the ice, the greening of the bark on trees, right in those very first signs. The mama sheep, they're starting to lactate, and there's milk. So one of the ancient traditions was to pour a cup of milk into the earth to bless the earth, and for good crops and whatnot. So it's all about those very first signs of spring. It's going to get lighter, longer. Shoots are going to start popping through the ice, which I think is incredible. I think that's actually, something that I really have been meditating on today, is that, those first shoots, I mean, they were born in the winter, and then, they carry that memory of winter through to spring and summer, and then to fall when they go back under. So, I think the first shoots are worth looking for. So you're thinking to yourself, well, how can I celebrate Imbolc? Well, there are different traditions based on what you believe. If you're Christian, you can pray to Saint Brigid. If you're not Christian, you can honor the Goddess Brigid, or you don't have to do anything at all with Brigid. That's up to you. Corn dollies and can't remember what the boy dolls are called. They have a name for the guy dolls. So there's corn dollies and then the guy dolls. Biddies. Corn biddies, I think they're called. Corn billies? I don't know. There's a boy doll, too. The Saint Brigid cross, which is a very different kind of cross. If when you were young and you're of a certain age and used to go to like the pool and they would have like the park, you would make those triangular like yarn eyes, the seeing eyes. That's a version of the Saint Brigid's cross. So you might have already made one in your life. They're usually made out of reeds, but a lot of times they're made out of yarn. So those are things you can do. So I did a few different things so far today, because you actually start celebrating at sunset on Imbolc Eve, which is January 31st. And then you celebrate it into sunrise tomorrow. So I'll be up at sunrise, Lord willing, and the creek doesn't rise. So, I've already journaled today. But here are some of the things that I did. And it doesn't cost any money to celebrate any holiday, ever. Like, don't get sucked into buying all kinds of nonsense. You can buy things if they bring you meaning and you can afford it, but don't feel like if you don't have these things that somehow your celebration and your honoring is less than, because it's not. Intention, 100% in your heart, is what's most important. So, and these are not in any particular order. I went outside at sunset and lit up my fire bowl outside. And then I came inside because it was absolutely freezing, and I lit my tabletop fire bowl. And so I had a fire going. Saint Brigid is the bearer of fire. And she also is, Saint Brigid protects your home from fire. So you take your Saint Brigid's cross and you bless it, which I did with incense, and then you hang it on the door to protect your home from fire. Another sort of ancient tradition is you take, if you have a well that you can go to, a natural well, you visit the holy wells. If you live near them. In Palmerton, we are lacking the holy well. So you take what's called a clutie, which is a cloth, just means cloth, and you you would dip it in a holy well, but seeing as we don't have one, you can pour spring water over it, but really you can put any water on it because it's intention that matters, right? Put water on it, and then you put it outside, and then it says that St. Bridget comes by and blesses. So I have my St. Bridget's cross on the front door, and I have my Clutie out back to receive a blessing. And I push it through. I have a piece of wood that has a hole in it that I push it through just so that it doesn't blow away or whatever. Plus, it's, part of the natural world. You can run a lot of things through incense. Like I ran the Clutie through incense, and I ran the cross through the incense. Just as an intention to like take the minute to, in the moment, like bless, these things so that they bless the house. I took a ritual bath, which is, I used a combination of herbs and salts that actually was made by somebody on Etsy. And it was very nice. It was lovely. There was, I don't even know what was in there. But sort of like a tip about ritual baths. I have a jacuzzi tub, and the stuff gets in the jets. So make sure that you clean your jets right away after your bath. But in that ritual bath, I did a meditation, and then I was like washing away as the water drained out, just washing away any negative feelings that I had, anything left over from last year, any little pieces of ice in my emotions that needed to melt and go away, letting go of, the fire festivals are always a really good time to let go of things. So I let that wash down, and then I washed the tub and just washed away sort of those, old feelings to make room for new, right? You have to clear out your closet to buy new shoes, right? So you have to clear out your emotional headspace, your heart space, to make room for new shoots and new things that are going to happen in your life in the new springtime that's coming. I cut an apple in half, not the long way, but the halfway, because if you do that, you get the five seeds, and it makes a star. And I put half in the front. I have a fairy pond out front. I put half on that pond, and I put half in the backyard as a gift to spirits. It's just nice to like place that and walk around. I also put I have an herbal mix that's for healing, and you put it on wounds and stuff, but you can also, kind of like Ash Wednesday, you can bless yourself with the oil and the herbs, and ask for, clarity of mind or clarity of heart, or whatever. And then I put a little bowl of that out front near the pond as well for the fairy folk in the other world, right? And that is where my friends think I'm crazy, but listen, we're human. We have absolutely no idea what's going on in the bigger picture. So I believe there are many planes of existence. If God wants there to be, then there are. So I used the Green Man incense. That was what I used to smudge. And that's just a mixture of herbs that, somebody calls the Green Man incense. But you can use any kind of incense that you want. I placed my I have a corn husk man with deer antlers. I placed him on my shelf back here. Some people call it an altar. I'm not a witch and I'm not a Wiccan, so an altar to me reminds me of church, and it's not that kind of an altar, so it's just kind of a place where I put all my stuff, my shelf. But you're welcome to call it an altar if that brings meaning to you. I pulled cards, a whole bunch of cards actually, came out from a different deck, from my fairy deck. What else did I do? Oh, you want to connect with nature, and so since it's freezing cold out and I watched some nature the music that I play when I meditate. I spent some time actually watching nature and looking at pathways and looking at hiking and, thinking about the coming of spring and the melting of ice and thinking about these new shoots that are coming up and looking for new growth. So those are sort of the things that I do tonight, and then at sunset tomorrow I'll welcome the sun, and I'll bring the Clutie in, and that Clutie, it's just like a special cloth then that you have throughout the year, that you can, if you did rituals or if you did magic or whatever, you could use that Clutie that way. I don't do those kinds of rituals. So, but I keep it around just as a reminder of God's love and protection and Saint Brigid. Saint Brigid, if you believe in the Christian story of Saint Brigid, it is said that she was a daughter of a druid warrior, druid or warrior, and or great clan warrior or something. And she became Christian, and then on her father's deathbed, she sat with him and converted him to Christianity. And I mean, there's lots of stories about Saint Bridget, but I think it's really she is a great example in myth, legend, or in reality of really believing in what she believed in, and being strong and having strength and protecting those that she loved and wanting the best for them. And she is the keeper of the fire. So that's why, I mean, it's a fire festival anyway, but she is the keeper of the fire. So there are places where, in Scotland, where there's a fire that is her fire, the St. Bridget's fire, and then they take torches and they pass that around, and then, like the fire never goes out. So they relight the fire every year with the flame from before. So that's cool. I don't quite understand how all that works, but I do know that they keep the St. Bridget fire lit all of the time in the stone churches. So that's kind of cool. So for me, I think all of the eightfold wheel celebrations, they don't. This is such a big debate topic, and again, we can debate this over tea if you'd like. I celebrate Christian holidays, and I celebrate the eightfold wheel. The 4 Celtic festivals sort of more so than the other 4, the equinoxes and the solstices. But I do some things for them. I always have a fire, and I always sort of let go of bad energy and make room for good energy and things like that. And those happen every 6 weeks, so you have something fun to do every 6 weeks. But for me, like church, church is a way each week for you to honor God, and depending on what your tradition is, and celebrate the work and life of Jesus Christ, if that's the kind of church you go to. And so I think that every 6 week kind of remembering to like tune in to the natural world, I think that's really very fulfilling. But just remember that like these are things that you do out of intention, out of your heart. There is no right or wrong. You're not going to get an F on the big test in the sky at the end if you don't have Green Man incense, or if you use Green Man incense, right? When we create our traditions and practices, whatever is meaningful to you. Now, if you belong to a religious group, or you belong to a coven, or you belong to a group, right? They have like their traditions that they do. And you have to decide if those traditions are meaningful to you, if they resonate with you. Never stay in something that doesn't resonate with you. If you think it's wrong, or it doesn't give you some sort of fulfillment, don't do it. Do your own thing, right? I'm constantly rediscovering the things that I like to do, and the way that I want to honor the work of Jesus, and the way that I want to honor my relationship with Spirit and with God. So in that Trinity format. So there's no right or wrong. Don't let people tell you or make you feel bad because you're not doing it their way. It can be hard if they're close to you, or if they're your family. That can be hard, the naysayers. But do your own thing. Be your own person, right? So I am wishing all of you a very blessed Imbolc. And if you have any questions, please ask below. And please like and subscribe and share this channel. This is not a monetized channel. I don't make any money from YouTube, and I have no ads or sponsors. So I do this because I love it, and it enriches my day, because you are all a gift to me. I am wishing all of you all the very best in light and love. Be well. Bye-bye.